Let's hear more about Trump's efforts to end the war in Ukraine. We're bringing in Kervin Oquin. He is a former lead intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance coordinator for the U.S. Army and now the host of This Week Explained, the podcast. Good morning, Kervin. Good to see you again. Now, Trump said that he is making progress with Russia, and as we know, he has promised to end the war. But what do you think his plan could look like here?
Well, first, let me just say thank you for having me on. Again, it's good to see you guys. Well, look, we've had some leaks come out recently about what General Kellogg's plan looks like. That's going to be released during this week's Munich summit. What it looks like is we're going to freeze the front lines where they are right now, without where Ukrainians hold the Kursk region. I think that's very interesting. And then there are some Ukrainian guarantees that should prevent Russia and Putin from doing another invasion into that country. But look, we don't know exactly what's in that. We haven't seen the exact terms. We'll find out starting this Friday when more of that gets leaked out. And look, both of these leaders, Zelensky and Putin, are going to have to come to the negotiating table in good faith. And I don't think, reading what they have said publicly, that they are ready to do that right now.
So a couple of things. Let's start with the leverage. What leverage does the U.S. have? Because Trump has talked about, he floated the idea of sanctions and tariffs, but considering that trade is already pretty limited between U.S. and Russia, and frankly, Russia and the West, are these threats still significant to Russia?
I mean, so the sanctions, I don't think the threat of sanctions anymore affects Russia, or at least affects Putin and his decision making. He's made it very clear what he wants. He wants the recently annexed regions on the eastern portion of Ukraine, and Zelensky says he's not going to agree to that. So what is the U.S. leverage here? Well, that's going to be very interesting, because if President Donald Trump and his envoy to Ukraine can get a peace deal done by April, like he has said, that would be, first of all, that's great for the global community, that we're not focused on this war anymore and the soldiers dying on the battlefield. That's a win for the United States in foreign policy, in Trump's foreign policy. And so I think what Trump's going to do here is leverage the funding to Ukraine for both sides, to get both Putin and Zelensky to the negotiating table. Trump has said if Putin doesn't want to come in good faith, he is going to ramp up funding for Ukraine. And if that happens, we'll see how that goes.
So National Security Advisor Michael Waltz has also said that U.S. diplomats will get both sides, hopefully, to the table in Europe. What if they should bring people to the table, both parties? What could compromise really look like for either side?
Well, I really think it's going to be the eastern portion of Ukraine that Russia recently annexed. That is going to stay in Russian control for now. But that means that Ukraine's going to need some security guarantees. And we know that NATO is probably off the table, but getting stronger European Union support, getting Ukraine into the European Union to help. And look, also security guarantees for defense munitions from Western nations to keep supplying Ukraine with protective measures that doesn't allow Putin to do another, what he would call special military operation.
So you support defense munitions. Is that enough to create permanent peace? What does it take if there is a peace deal that it will be permanent?
Yeah, that's quite interesting, because I don't know what they can agree to that is going to stop Putin from doing what he said right after the invasion, is that he sees the Soviet Union and pre-Soviet Union land as a part of the Russian Federation, and he wants to return it to that. And that was a finger pointed to Finland and to Poland and to Sweden. That's why those nations are in NATO, for those extra security guarantees. First, Putin's going to have to go through Ukraine. I don't know that anyone has put up a good peace plan that will prevent another attempt at a full takeover of the country of Ukraine.
Right. And just before we go here, tell me more about the new administration and the how it treats the dynamic between all the parties. You just mentioned that both parties are not that ready, it seems, to come to the table together. But we also know that Trump has a little bit of a better relationship with Putin. How has the dynamics changed with the new administration compared to Biden?
Well, I think that obviously Vladimir Putin is more open about conversations that he's having with his American peer, and that's President Donald Trump. So that's one difference. And we've analysts have posited this from the very start that the Biden administration did just enough to keep Ukraine in this war and not allowing them to win this conflict. I'm not seeing any changes in that from the Trump administration. But what we are seeing is a businessman in the office of presidency again, meaning he's good at making a deal. You can read his book, The Art of the Deal. He knows what he's doing here. He is going to push for, conciliatory things from both sides. And I really do firmly believe that.
Got it, Kervin. Thank you so much for your insights, Kervin Aucoin.
Thank you.